pick into Silas. But it's Dove, so we expect it's going to happen anyway. The Trundle support there as well, especially good into the Wukong. You see a big grin on Nogari's face, and this is kind of what I was expecting. His old Camille. Of course, no Klepto left available. That was very, very scary, but he is going to decide against it in the end. The Aatrox will be once again picked up. I would have loved to see the Camille. Of course, as the game goes on in a side lane, you're unanswerable. But not going through that gauntlet. Damwon Kia looking for a little bit of earlier power. They will just take the Aatrox.
And Sandbox have a composition that scales much better. But Damwon Kia have a comp that gets way more done. Outside of the Trundle, into Wukong matchup, in terms of skirmishes, in terms of setups, that 3v3, absolutely devastating. Lucian Nami also quite strong. Not necessarily in terms of prio. Do you expect the prio to mostly be in the hands of Prince and Gal just because of the harassments and the shove that Sivir does possess? When it comes to the early fights, lock someone down, throw a calling into them, or a Wukong ult, or anything that you have on top side, and it'll be very, very tough. I gotta say, with this draft that I'm seeing here, I'm expecting Damwon Kia to close it out 3-1 here and lock themselves in as the third seed here, because the Sandbox comp is much more akin to what we've seen of Sandbox in the past, but with how well Damwon Kia have been snowballing leads, I just don't think it's working.
No, I agree. I think the main reason why we expect Damwon to win this game isn't based on the draft, to be honest. It's about how the momentum of the game is moving forward, and the fact that Damwon, especially in the last game, just looked like the better team. That being said, I mean, if Liv Sandbox turn this around, there is a chance that they just use that in order to get themselves a win. Because this composition, it by no means is bad. And I think Prince on Sivir, it's been his best champion so far that we have seen. Oftentimes it's denied, this time around not going to be. And we'll see whether Damwon can do it or whether Liv Sandbox can bring us to Silver Scrapes. Damwon fans ringing out of Lowell Park here as Liv Sandbox fans have to raise their voice if Liv Sandbox are able to win this game and we get another fan chant. And they certainly do have the tools available, but like you say, Chronicler, I kind of hazard to agree with you, as Damwon have just looked better and better after that second game loss. Game 3, a lot more convincing than Game 1.
I don't even know if I'd... it's such a tough game, because we talked about this earlier as well, how I think the current meta is exceptionally snowbally. We had the durability patch, which kind of changed the equation, as Dove is going to have to flash. Oh no, never mind, okay. I'm surprised.
Searing charge, it's going to be fun.
Well, I mean, level 1's, yeah, he lives. Let's keep it positive.
He is alive.
He is alive. He's not dead. He didn't have to flash.
Wait, did he get a grasp stack?
I don't think he did. I don't think he was in combat long. But ever since the changes to Drake's, meta has been exceptionally snowbally, and if Sandbox get like an early Drake fight, if someone on Damwon is out of position once or twice, I think we see the exact same thing. Loving this from Canyon.
Yeah, looking for the opportunity for a little bit of damage. It's red buffs doing a fair bit of work there.
Oh,
is this the wraparound? Are we doing it again?
Yeah, he's just gonna take blue buff. I don't think there's anything that Canyon can do about it.
No, I thought Canyon was gonna just wrap around and do it again. He's like, I am determined to get a flash. It would have been a worrisome move. However,
I like your aggro. Yeah. I like your mindset. You should try jungling. Just don't farm, just gank.
I do jungle. I just do it in a very different type of game than this.
Wait, now I'm confused.
Not as in the video game's different. I mean the level of video gaming going on is very different.
There you go. Yes. No, well that goes for everyone that isn't in the LPL.
Oh no, I don't think it's time for that. we can do well. Okay, now, I was gonna say when we get all of our teams out of groups, you can say that, but I don't think we can. Because we've done that before, and I don't think it was enough.
Who was sending as full seed is also going to be somewhat questionable, but then again, so was Humble Life.
I mean, yeah. It might be Damwon or Live Sandbox.
I still think that it's very very likely that this game just gets won by Sandbox. I wouldn't be shocked at all. But I do also agree. I think that Damwon Kia, when they're on form, is a better team, and it should be very tough for Live Sandbox when this team is playing to its peak to win. They just haven't really done that. As now they're going to match. I don't think Canyon wins this.
Well, he's currently looking for a way out as well as a way in, if you understand my meaning. As he did spot Croco there, knew that he wasn't going to be able to win any 2v2, but not going to gather enough of Close's attention. So therefore, will be absolutely fine. Right now, just looking for the right avenue to get something done. Dove, Bellow's Breath, of course, is going to help him not get pulled back by the end zone chains, but still going to lose out on the trade pretty comfortably. There's Canyon just going to smite this to start it up. Spots that Croco's on the Wolves and immediately has to leave.
Yeah.
So this is it's a Wukong doing a lot of walking. A lot of walking.
Yeah. I don't know what that smite was about.
It was leash. You know, you got a leash with your smite.
No.
You know, he had another charge.
No.
You know, just wanted to use it. Get it.
I guess. Yeah.
I don't know either.
I'm sure there's a reason. Canyon always has a reason. I think what actually happened was he smited it, trying to like get it done, and then he used his Scryer's soul. I also had the ward soul. Croco is like, well, never mind. I am not going to be able to contest. And this feels a lot more similar to game number 2.
Yeah.
At least in terms of jungle matchup. Very hard to come back from this. Now, of course, top side heavily in favor of Nuggery. Damwon Kia around fight still have so much power, but having a jungler that's not quite close to 2 levels behind is a bad time. I'm pretty sure Croco can just invade from here as well.
Yeah, if he wants to.
Might just go for Drake instead. No, not sure. Maybe?
Pulls it out of the pit. So yeah, they'll look for this one. Should be able to collect it as well as Canyon's all the way over on his Krug.
He's still on his Krugs.
Yeah. It's taking some time.
It's really bad. In terms of like efficient time usage, has gone back of course, has picked himself up a longsword, but yeah, that's going to be the Drake. Croco going to be hitting level 5 here.
Yeah. I think Canyon just looked for some risky pathing and was punished.
Yeah.
Croco really intelligent moves around the jungle, and Canyon gonna find himself behind. He is, yeah, only level 4, and Croco well into level 5 now, and they're down a Drake, and so definitely great news here for Live Sandbox. Not end of the world or anything like that. If you have a look at the gold, and especially if you consider this top side and the fact that Showmaker is very, very even with an Ahri in the mid lane as the Silas, but still. Canyon's going to have to try and find his way towards the Cyclone as quickly as he can. So far, not quite there.
It's a toughie, because due to this experience lead that is available now, Croco going to have Subjugated available at a much earlier time. Might provide them with a window for picking up an early Herald as well, as we do see the run come through from Kael, making his way over the mid. Maybe wanting to have his presence known there, as Lowe's are going for the early AWP hit. Very, very interesting.
Yeah. We have seen this. This is tech that I believe Chovy did first.
Yeah, it makes sense into the Silas, of course. Also provides you a value into the Aatrox. So I don't think it's shocking by any means. Does mean that your Mythic Spike will be delayed by a sizable amount, as Croco going to show up in mid and might make a run towards the blue buff that is getting relatively close to spawning. And again, I would love to see them play very aggressively towards a Herald, now that they have such a big advantage. Croco sitting on a fair amount of gold. Instead, going to be walking up and then clear his top side, maybe back after that, and make his way towards that Rift Herald. As a bit of slow pace early game.
Yeah, it's certainly calmed down somewhat, and we don't even get to talk about, you know, mustache bets or anything like that, because this game is far too even for any of that. if you guys weren't here earlier on, there were a few games that were quite one-sided, and we had some bets going to see whether Chronicler was going to grow a mustache.
Yeah.
He has not yet needed to grow a mustache so far.
No.
The bets have not paid off in my favor. Not because I necessarily want you to have a mustache, I just want to see it, you know?
Well, that literally does mean that you want to see me have a mustache, though.
Yeah. Forgive me.
It's okay. Atlas,
It's more just a curiosity. It's not like I want you to lose a bet, is what I kind of meant.
Ah, there you go.
You know?
I get that.
Yeah, it's not about I don't want to see you lose, but I do want to see the mustache. I was like, I'm sure it makes sense in some way, otherwise why would I say it? And then I couldn't figure out why I would say it.
I am not in a position to judge anyone for saying one thing and meaning another. So I will let you have that, Atlas.
Yeah.
Don't you worry. We all know what you meant. And
Scholars may get to the bottom of it in the end.
What? Scholars?
Yeah, yeah. When I've been studied, they're like,
Wait,
what
but
does this
who's
mean?
going to study you?
Well, I don't know. You never know. Maybe
Okay.
maybe there's like a VOD
We
in the
have- we
LCK and it's one of the last remaining bits of like digital media that's left over after there's like some apocalypse that happens.
We have plenty of time, clearly, in
Uh-huh.
this game. Nothing's going to happen for at least the next minute.
Yeah, okay.
Design a curriculum in which this VOD is being studied. Okay?
No. It's if it's the last
It's
bit
the
of
last
digital
remaining
media
part
that
of-
has language in the world.
That's the only circumstance.
Yeah. And it's like it's like a paleontology type situation, you know?
So we're 2,000 years into the future.
Oh, probably more than that.
More than that.
You
We have
have to say more
5,000
than that.
years.
Yeah.
Is that okay? And
then they find I don't know.
they find the Twitch server that this is stored on.
Yeah, something like that.
But everything's corrupted.
Everything's corrupted except for
Except this
the
one VOD.
LCK bots.
And then they will study.
Yeah, and then the scholars will come out. I'm really glad that I've managed to lose touch with the English language so much that we've got all of this content. Because there is just a lot of ping-ponging of mini waves at this point in time, as Crocker's going to rotate over.
We're gonna get to quizzes soon.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's happening here.
Quiz is much more fun, because I'm a little bit less embarrassed. Crocker's just going to make the ground a little bit poisonous as he moves forward, but otherwise not too much to worry about.
That's what causes the hiccups, by the way. That's it.
Oh, really?
Toxic waste. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what creates the whole timeline.
Someone should talk to Trundle.
Yeah. I think it's irresponsible personally, but do you have a quiz prepared, Atlas?
I do not. Lift Sandbox had a Rift Herald prepared. We could mention that.
Oh, they got
it
plates.
did crash into the turret. Plates happened. Lift Sandbox
wait,
bottom lane
chickening
gets a little
action,
bit of...
yeah.
Yeah, we could have something. As Canyon's waiting in the wings. Has level 7, as does Croco. But Nogari already here. Orn's getting his rotation over, as that is a great Aqua Prison. Doctom trying to do damage. Flash out from Kellen at the last second. Dove gets it in time to stop Canyon from being able to get too much work done. The Ornhorn comes in. There is the Warrior Trickster as Nogari going to get that flash over the wall. Have the Umbral Dash, I don't believe. So therefore had to invest the Summoner spell.
Oh, Showmaker.
Yeah, Showmaker's turn to possibly press the Ornhorn button. Bellow's Breath is good to avoid Everfrost. As Doctom and Prince just laning against one another. Not a lot of mana here for Prince, unfortunately. Still didn't have on the hunt. So... looks like Liv Sandbox are going to back away. We're going to even out the dragons. And once again, it is a cloud and an ocean to start us off.
This is Liv Sandbox. Not contesting a Drake.
Yeah,
That's wow.
with a lead.
That is
because
the-
they pressed too many buttons and not enough happened.
The first time they've done this, possibly ever.
Yeah, in the history of esports.
Well, in their history for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
This could be an
Oh,
evolution.
mountain. Oh, we're gonna have even less action. Huh. Amazing.
Showmaker is going to find the dash into the ram. That was actually beautifully done. The Dove was in the area. He sensed that the goat was coming out, and he was like, wait, what's going on here? Who stole my goat? And he does come down. Collector. So Showmaker not going to be using that one again for a while. Still, moving back towards the top side. And in the end, no first blood.
No.
And it's 13 minutes in.
Well, we're gonna be aided gotta say, as far as itemization goes, itemization into mountains and Orm, not very fun.
Yeah.
Not a good time. For Sandbox is a little easier because I think naturally you're always going to have a type of comp that can deal with this pretty well. You got the true damage on Ari. You have obviously Prince, who if he reaches enough items can just true for anyone, regardless of how tough they are. But for Dom 1, there's Eclipse Aatrox, even with what I assume will be Cleaver and Cyrilus eventually being fought, and Lucian and Silas. Like, none of those really, in team fights, enjoy chewing through multiple Drakes. So for Sandbox, big win condition there.
Yeah, and Sandbox are almost okay with Damwon getting them, because if they start stacking them up, that is a more improved subjugate for Croco.
Yeah.
That's the dark technology.
No, I thought you meant that. No, I'm not agreeing to that. I thought I was going to agree to Sandbox stacking 3 Drakes.
Oh yeah, no, that's always good though. It's always good to stack 3 Drakes. Except if Live Sandbox give them up, big brain move is that Croco then becomes more durable if he uses it on a member of Damwon.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. I hadn't considered that.
There you go. So it just does mean that it's not exactly the Drake that Damwon wanted to see this game.
We really did have, I think, a little bit too much action in our previous few series, and it gave this false impression of, you know, stuff happening in our video games on average. As we have a trap being set up here.
Yeah, there's an electrocute prop. As Canyon, going to see Croco moving on in, and not really too much is going to result from it. Damwon do have a decent 1-3-1, you could say as well, with the Silas and the Aatrox, but it means that it's more difficult to contest for things like this. However, Shirley may not necessarily be as valuable, as this Aatrox getting a lot of free time towards the bottom side, away time on the top side. But here is the commitment. Teleport's going to come forward. That is going to be Croco securing the Rift Herald. But what more is going to happen? Boomerang Blade, not a lot of value. Showmaker dashing around the fight where he can. Closer, not going to be able to find the kill onto Showmaker this time around. And Damwon Kia should be able to prevent the take on the eye.
And Dov completely missing his ultimate there was really big. If they can get on top of someone of Damwon Kia, they should be fine. Now a denial. It's not the end of the world. Double teleport is used, and it's an even trade. No one dies. But with Croco securing that smite, I thought it was going to be a favorable trade. Now, pretty sure that Damwon Kia are going to feel not too bothered, as they were able to deny. And not the execution Sandbox we're looking for, but does mean that we still have no first blood.
And also, with Sandbox, it might say 2 Heralds up there, but it's only 1, really. Although I guess they get a bit of money.
Avert your eyes, everyone. As
yeah, this is not the ramp. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He flashed out of his own R, and then he did get the dash, because you still get the second activation, but that dash doesn't really do a lot. It's just a dash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, well, sometimes you miss buttons. And remember, he did get the flash over the wall in the other game. So that's a whoopsie and a success from
despite all this, I think Sandbox is still in a favorable state because the Damwon Kia comp has a much tougher time as we get into the later stage of the game, even though their 5v5 is very good. When you look at it in isolation, right, you have Aatrox, you have Wukong. In the later stages of the game, as long as Prince is fine and he has a double front line and a Lulu, he will just shred through everyone with 3 autos. So, not great. And Sandbox, this time around, surely going to contest heavily here. Both mids have teleport available, even though they are on the top side of the map.
Yep, Pillar not going to stop anyone this time around. Searing Charge gets Dove out of the chains. Damwon Kia just brute forcing control of the river here, as Griffin Scuttle Vision is going to go.
Oh, Croco.
Yeah, taking a large amount of poke.
Yeah, and I want to just reiterate that giving over these Drakes to Damwon Kia is a really good way of making them skill better, and this is where we haven't really talked about this. Melgary is up.
Yeah, about 500,000 CS.
Yeah, it's. I wanted to really highlight, like, it's what, 60 CS? And he's 2 levels up. Like, Dove is very far behind the curve here. Not a great front line, and I think Sandbox might have to give this one up again. They are moving in. You have a lot of team fighting power. Showmaker.
That's his turn to go for the on-horn. Oh, he's going to get stunned out of it, though. Not going to be able to get the next activation. And this time, Dove lands his. And the Sivir is able to pick up the kill onto Canyon. That means that no smite available for this one. Showmaker goes golden, and now they're recommitting to the fight. The chains aren't going to land, though. So Showmaker can't get that re-engage. Nogari's still at full health. And there are some low health bars on Live Sandbox, but they have so many left alive. Nogari going to be taken down as a result. And Live Sandbox looking to take down this Drake now. Showmaker might have a few buttons left available. The charm connected though is Showmaker. Oh my god! Still able to take one with him. And Kellen, there's not a lot he can do. Doctor's already pieced out of this one. And that is going to be the Mountain Drake going over to Live Sandbox.
Showmaker playing like a man possessed there. Incredible up until that final change that I'm not sure if he wanted to take. Was able to get the trade nonetheless, but whoa, that was a very close call here. And crucially, do note that, as you pointed out, really good pillar there to make sure that Showmaker wasn't able to get the reactivation. And Prince is untouched in this fight. And the only reason why it looks even remotely close is Showmaker hitting a 4-man Everfrost with Nami Mandate, and then also going into stopwatch as the chain lash damage comes through. But again, look at Prince's health. Prince, not too bothered here. And these are the type of fights that we've seen Live Sandbox win a million times. Once it actually comes out to the 5v5, they are very good at playing around Prince. Eventually, do see that Kael goes down, but that is a worthy sacrifice for a very big Drake. This means the burst that is available for John Makia going to be a little bit less strong, and this first Drake is still fine, but if it's the second, if it's a Soul, I think we're going to a Game 5 Atlas. The trend of whoever wins early keeps it going. So far, still looking strong.
Definitely looking in Live Sandbox's favor for now, but it's one of the smaller leads that we've seen so far. Maybe Wolf getting his wish of a closer series.
Perchance.
We might be getting there, because of course, if you want close, I mean, this is about as close as you can possibly get. Croco with a pillar, going to look to try and bully Canyon out of his own side of the jungle. And with the man advantage that they have here towards the top side, it should be a relatively easy task. Dove with Ornhorn at the ready. Kellen looking to rotate over as Nogari is taking a red buff here on the bottom side. Teleport from Dove to get him to the bottom lane. Nogari has his, and he's already there, so teleport advantage here for Damwon Kia theoretically. Still, able to get that outer turret in the top lane still work here, I believe, for Live Sandbox.
And what I want to highlight is that Flame Horizon is a title that if you don't know where it comes from, it's completely understandable. It's very, very old. It used to be a top laner. I think initially Azubu. Don't know.
Azubu Flame?
Yeah.
Yep.
Used to be Azubu, then CJ answers.
Yep.
Flame. And Flame was one of the first top laners that.
Oh, it's actually Azubu Blaze.
It was, yeah, Azubu Blaze, and then it became CJ answers.
And his name was Flame, so you know, fire and fire.
Yeah, it was very, very cool.
Yeah.
But he was able to generate leads, and I think that the term Flame Horizon has kind of become subject to inflation, as unfortunately many things in life, where any 100 CS lead is called the Flame Horizon, which I think in technically is true, but the spirit of the Flame Horizon was that you got it by yourself. Flame was just so much better that he was able to generate these leads by himself, and this truly feels like one of those where, hold up.
Yeah, Doctor in a bit of trouble here, does manage to Gale Force and dash his way out, so not going to be in too much trouble. Cyclone value pretty huge, but Canyon may still die here. Wild Growth onto Croco to keep him alive. Showmaker now back in the fight, has a Zhonya's available as well, and no one is dead after that, but everyone's missing a whole bunch of buttons.
So as I was saying, this is actually Dove. Oh, I don't know about that. Should be fine.
Yeah, well, it's still going to come through.
Dove's just 100 CS down. He has 100 CS at 20 minutes. As here we go again.
Yeah, another Ram is going to be adopted here by Showmaker, but it's going to take, once again, just a flash from Dove to avoid that one from being catastrophic. As you were saying.
Well, that was the end of it, really.
Oh, okay.
Dove, buy a Relic Shield, please, because you're not farming. So you might as well get a gold generation item. And Flame's a really cool player, and I just...
He's currently streaming for T1, I believe.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. He also was on Damwon as a sub for quite a while.
Yeah, he was. Then was a streamer for Damwon and then moved to T1.
Yeah.
So still out there if you want to watch some Flame. Very, very cool. No, there was one of my friends back in OC who Most of the top laners, while I was commentating back there, would just watch Flame.
Yeah.
He was
Flame.
just the guy
And
that
then
you
we
would
also
watch if you wanted to know things about top lane.
We also had Shy, not the Shy, just Shy.
Oh, we did.
Yeah. As Drake fight, really big point here. If Liv Sandbox gets this, I think that they have all but secured themselves this game. Showmaker, though, in a great position on the flank here. Liv Sandbox needs to, as you always do their homework, make sure that these flanks are warded.
Yeah, they certainly need to get some sort of vision. They need to write some maps about this area because they don't quite know what's going on. However, it may not matter as Canyon does manage to avoid the charm with his decoy. Still, kind of bullied out of the area. And Soul Point Mountain Soul is certainly something that Damonkia cannot afford to give away right now. As Nogari on the flank, Showmaker as well, looking for his option. If it is going to be both of these solo laners finding the angles together, then that could be devastating for Liv Sandbox. But as you can see, Prince deals with these minion waves so comfortably. Canyon can poke his head in and get vision whenever he'd like to. As Nogari just standing on this control ward, stalwart. They know exactly what's going on. The Drake does get started. Still pretty healthy for now, as Damonkia grab themselves some vision here in this brush off the river.
A little closer, he's on flank duty.
Yeah, Liv Sandbox just looking for the turn angle.
They really are. And they know that Showmaker's got to be somewhere. Hasn't been spotted for such a long time. That's why we see. But Prio is going to be grabbed early with the extra health from Drake's. Ooh, different approach here. Croco does get spotted out.
Yeah, Croco over to the wall. Nogari going to join him, and this is just going to be the outer turret in mid lane taken. War of attrition currently being won by Liv Sandbox, and this is all due to the fact that Prince pushes waves so incredibly fast. So he just walks over, gets that ricochet going, and all the time, Damonkia are responding instead of being able to act proactively. Now it's a lot longer before they can actually get back towards this dragon.
I think this might be the window.
Look at the options. We may see finally.
Showmaker spotted there.
Yeah, he is going to be spotted, but Nogari's going to turn up at the same time. There's the Cyclone, getting a double knock-up. Showmaker looking for an Ornhorn as well, and is going to activate it. I don't think it's going to get stopped this time, and it doesn't. Four-man knock-up is going to come through, and Dove will be taken down, and now Damonkia are going to take up position on this Drake. Liv Sandbox looked like they wanted to go back and take it, but I think once again it's going to have to be those rare times where they give it up.
And here we see the value. Damonkia, this early on in the game, Dove is only sitting on a single item. It's building towards Frozen Heart, but not that close just yet. There is a Black Cleaver, Divine Sunderer, and that Lord Dominic's here on Docdom. So Dove's health disappears, and as a result, 2-2 Drakes. Damonkia not cracking under the pressure just yet.
Not this time. Let's check out the replay. Canyon doesn't go too far in with the Cyclone, but this is what it was all about. Showmaker finding the ramp.
And Showmaker is, this is some MSI 2021 performance that he's showing here. He is really applying consistent pressure, making it hard for Liv Sandbox to play the game. Funnily enough, we are still at 5 kills.
Yeah, not exactly a bloody game. As Canyon going to be denied his back. Probably going to be a bit sad about it. Not end of the world or anything like that. I got to stop saying end of the world with Aatrox in the game. I feel like I'm getting baited into puns that I don't want to make. As Liv Sandbox going to go for a little bit of a T1 Baron here. Just starting it up, seeing whether it's an option. Ward does go over. Looks like they're committing by the looks of things.
They got a TP. I think you can just piece out here and be happy.
Yeah, Dove just going to take a bit of damage here from Docdom, but not too much. And yeah, exactly right. Managed to get the response that they were looking for. And I really like that. I mean, this is something that T1 did make pretty famous, as I believe that's on the hunt. As Showmaker's looking to get his way over, and they're just moving these minions to take this turret for free. I love that. So decisive from Liv Sandbox, and it's not just running at a fight, it's running at an objective that they can take for free.
I do like that. I do think they have to acknowledge at some point the existence of side lanes, which thus far they have been reluctant to, despite research indicating that they are in fact important.
Did you read thesis about it or something?
No, it's the scholars. The
scholars. The scholars.
Yeah,
you went forward in time 5,000 years. How did you do this?
No, they send it back. That's no biggie for them. They are of course.
Of course, Time Lords.
Yeah. Because again, Liv Sandbox are effectively just sacking sideways consistently throughout this game, which is the main reason why we have such an immense lead in terms of topside ball. Nuguri sitting on a solid 140, a little bit less, you know, when his wave is done, 130, but it doesn't really change the fact that he's monstrously fat, and with that, Aatrox being as big as he is, Sandbox, I think still, even with the itemization, Breakpoint now hit, as we have the free item spike for the Sivir, that is usually what you play for with a comp like this. You still have to be so respectful, because if Nuguri gets into the back line, oh boy, is it doomed. And same for Showmaker.
No, I 100% agree. CS per minute, we're having a look at this number, and yeah, Dove is behind Canyon, as you can see there. Certainly hasn't been soaking too much side lane farm, because Liv Sandbox are dedicated to the 5-man, and this is exactly why. Will it land? The flash comes through from Showmaker. There's a nice charm, but Zhonya's is built up. Doctor diving forward. I don't know about that one, but the Cyclone's beautiful. Showmaker looks for the chains, but doesn't quite get them as Doctor takes down the Ornn. Can they kill Prince, though, is the question. As Nuguri goes into his stopwatch, great knock up to try and buy them some time, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And Damwon Kia, it's a 1-for-1 in the end.
And there's the problem for Damwon Kia, is that as nice of an angle as that was, good flash from Showmaker using the stopwatch to stay alive. At this point, only one number matters, and it's Prince. As long as Prince is alive, as long as the rest of the team stands in front of him, the longer fights, you're never going to win.
Yeah. It's actually, it's kind of proving our point, right? Like, does that play from Dove change if he has 100 extra CS? Probably not. It'll take him a longer time to die.
He should still have it, because...
Yeah. However, being able to, you know, just be there and create the 5v5 that they're looking for is what they wanted. As Showmaker dives into the back of the pit, he has another Ornn Horn available, gets some decent knockouts. The flash forward, Dom takes matters into his own hands. Closer off to the side looking for it, but Damwon Kia now will 100% win this fight. They'll also take the Baron, and Damwon Kia, I think they may just have bought a ticket to Worlds.
What an unbelievable turn. Doctor with the flash there, catching Prince of God. And now, at the very least, we'll crack open the base. Surely going to get an inhibitor out of this as we go all the way back. And yeah, this play, forcing a teleport or a flash rider from Showmaker. Nice, good charm as well. But then, going a little bit too far forward. Dove finds the knockoff, but not going to be able to get too much of. Because again, look how big this Aatrox is. Single-handedly zoning away the front line. But in the long run, Sivir is still going to be able to get a lot done. It's only thanks to the bubble from Callan that this isn't a bigger disaster. But then this play right here is very, very risky from Sandbox. I don't think they needed to go for this. And then, just want to highlight again, Doctor here. Oh, unbelievable. No wild available. Flash not used by Prince. And that's the type of place that win game. That killer instinct from Doctor right there could be the what gets Damwon Kia to Worlds.
And that was actually what we kind of thought might have got Nongshim Red Force to Worlds last year. Wasn't quite enough there. But Canyon, pretty happy with how that one went. He said, sorry guys, but great job. And I don't think he has too much to be sorry for. A lot of his Cyclones have been fantastic this game, but it's not necessarily his best. Damwon Kia definitely having a great time. Dove, looking for the knock-up, doesn't find it, parts the Red Sea. And Canyon, with a bit of a defensive Cyclone, they take the inner turret. Looks like Damwon Kia looking for a way out, but yeah, the Ricochet's doing a bunch of work. Prince, with On the Hunt popped, looking for the angle as now Showmaker finds his way in. The chains are going to connect. Zhonya's going to be used. Great knockups for Dove, though. He will die, but have they created the space is the question. The Silas will fall down. Nuguri absolutely gigantic as Doctor looking to try and catch up. But look at this. Nuguri's just walking at them, and what can they do?
He is monstrously fat, has hit that free item breakpoint. There it is, Eclipse, Cleaver, and Surrealness still acting like frontline here. And until Liv Sandbox is going to have a little bit more shred available, or is going to be able to actually burst him down, it's not really going to change the equation. What we do see here, though, is that still Sandbox have an incredibly strong con, but yeah, fighting this could have been the end of the series.
Yeah.
But the Sandbox, it's what they do. Prince eats a big chain lash there, and that's why he has to be very respectful. Kane trying to go for a game-ending play, but there are still more than enough cooldowns available. But with the health cost that low, trying to get baited in, Dove gets a knockup but doesn't actually get the kill on Canyon, because if that comes through, then maybe That is where you completely eliminate the Baron buff. Croco unfortunately going to burn down in the end. Red buff for Nuggery be enough. And overall, now, immense gold lead built up by Damwon. Still need to respect, still playing into Sivir.
Yeah.
But it's looking much better, and it kind of solidifies what we already have been seeing throughout the night.
Yeah. Doctor now level 16 as
Yeah.
well. Level ahead of his counterpart in Prince, but he's also a high level to Closer, which is the craziest thing. But also Dove is 4 levels behind.
Yeah, he hasn't actually given out ornaments yet.
No.
As himself. And this is why, as much as we joke, you can't give up this much CS experience. Like, it's too much. There comes a point where it's not worth it anymore. And the fact that Prince doesn't have an upgraded Kraken Slayer yet, like, that can be deciding in fights.
No, absolutely. You're exactly right. You know, we joke about it, and oftentimes, you know, Dove does make these plays, right? As he's now going to catch this wave in the side lane, and you can see Jonas Strong indicating that that's exactly what this is about. He did not get that other CS, but the experience is so much more important.
So close? Hey! There we go.
Nailed it. Level 14, so now does have an ornament. He's going to give that one over. Builds himself a Kraken Slayer for Prince. So there we go. At least there is that. Anyway, Damwon now with still a heck of a lot of control. Liv Sandbox needing to deny this Mountain Soul, which is just going to be very, very scary to deal with.
And normally I love the pickup of a Bloodthirster on Sivir. I think it's a very strong item in general. Prince uses it very well, but there is a limited amount of poke available on Damwon's side. If you actually get all in, then they're on you. Bloodthirst is not going to really make a difference. And there's already 2 Drakes, 2 Mountain Drakes. The value that you get from Lord Dominik's in a situation like this is monumental. Like, even just the... Look at this! Aatrox has 180 armor.
Yeah. No, he's huge.
It's
It's a...
GA?
Oh, wow.
GA angle?
It's quite a large...
There we go!
Yeah. That's a large gap.
It's,
that is
double.
1.5 items
It's... Yeah.
ahead.
It's close to double, Atlas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it still doesn't matter as long as Prince can auto.
No, exactly. But the problem is that, yeah, Dove doesn't last very long. He stands up too far in these fights because Doctom has 4 items as well. One of the things that is difficult to factor in. However, if he lands all of his knockups, then the result may yet be the same. As, oh my goodness, Closer taking a little bit of poke from Doctom is a terrifying event in this game.
Yeah, look at the itemization as well. Oh, Croco!
Yeah, well, Croco possibly caught out here off to the side. Doctom running pretty quickly as Ornhorn's going to come through from Showmaker and from Dove. Canyon getting into that back line. Ornhorn from Dove was okay, but not exactly the greatest as they get on top and they find Prince in the back line. Croco is going to melt absolutely. And Damwon, they don't need a soul. They need a ticket to Worlds, and it exists inside the Nexus of Liv Sandbox, and they're going straight there.
And it was a summer of up and downs for Damwon coming into the split with Nuggery coming back. A lot of teams thought that this was going to be one of the top contenders. They didn't quite look the part, but this series shows they are definitely our number 3 seed.
Yeah, looking absolutely fantastic here today. And this is not to take away from Liv Sandbox and their accomplishments throughout this season. But Damwon in a best of 5, it's a different breed, and they look absolutely fantastic. A well-deserved trip to Worlds as our 3rd seed. And now we have Genji, seed 1, T1, seed 2, and Damwon as our 3rd seed. Pretty cool that it's our 3 most recent world champions as far as organizations are concerned.
Very wholesome as well. The whole team going crazy here. And overall, Damwon going to be the 3rd